Hey guys, how are you? Hey. I'm gonna like mop real quick. Hey. Hey. I'm okay. I'm okay. How's everybody? Yes, I'm mopping. I have to get this off the floor. It's bothering me. Hey, love, how are you? Hey, Terrence, how are you? Yes, I have to mop this floor. How's everybody been? Tell me how everybody been. I missed you guys. How's everybody? How everybody been? Well, you guys, you been good? Good. Well, y'all know that I lost my grandmother last Tuesday before, the 23rd. I lost my grandmother. She passed away. And I was helping my mother take care of my grandmother. So this was pretty hard. I'm still grieving. But I'm going, y'all. It's not easy losing a loved one. Especially somebody you took care of. Hey, love. How are you? I'm okay. Y'all know any other time I'm like, I'm amazing. I ain't amazing. I'm okay. I am okay. But I want to come on and talk to you guys because I haven't talked to y'all in a while. My last video was about a week ago. So I was like, let me get on here because they probably wondering where I'm at. But I'm here. Be careful, my floor. Thank you. So what's been going on with y'all? What's new? What is new? Thank you, love. What is new? Y'all know what's going on with me. What's going on with y'all? Welcome to all my new subbies. The group, the channel's still been growing. Welcome to all my new subbies. Everybody who just found me because you just found out your diagnosis. You're in a good place. I've been living with herpes for 10 years. It was 10 years in April. So I've been living with herpes for 10 years. Well, genital herpes with 10 years. And it'll be a year living with, it's a year, 2 years, I think, living with type 1, whatever you want to say. But I had type 2 for 10 years and type 1 for 2 years. So, voila, I've been dealing with this for a while. I've been dating, I'm dated, sex, kids, married, divorced. I had it all. Been through it all. So, you're in a good place with somebody who kind of been through all of it. Been in college with it, been working with it, been a single mom with it. So, I get it. I get everything. Are you taking any medication? No, I do not take any antivirals. I only took antivirals one time, and that's the time that they gave me the medicine. And I didn't take it anymore because I am not a pill popper. I don't like pills. If I can stay away from them, I will, and I did. And at that time, when I was in college, I didn't know how to swallow pills. So it was 10 times worse at that time. And I had to crush it up. And honestly, certain pills are not meant to crush because they got a release time on the medication, but it was disgusting. I took it once, and at that, I feel like it didn't help because by the time I got the medication, I was like way into my outbreak. So it was just so painful. And I thought like the medicine was going to help me speed up the process, and it really didn't. Anybody who take the antivirals or thinking about taking the antivirals or taking the antivirals, I want you guys to know if you're taking antivirals, it's best to take your antivirus soon as you feel your first symptom of tingling, itching, burning, anything that lets you know your first initial symptom that lets you know you're having an outbreak. You need to go ahead and start taking it because the antiviral works best when you first initially feel a symptom, then having having a couple of symptoms and then feeling it, because by the end of it takes time for the medicine to get in your body, and it works best. It helps cut time down if it gets in your body as soon as you have a symptom compared to waiting. And for anybody who may like, I don't know if I have a symptom. Okay, if y'all feel like a little tingling prior, or you feel that itching or burning prior, that's like a prodome. Prodome is kind of letting you know that the virus is coming. And then some people, hours before that, a couple of hours later, days after, they may see a blister or cut or whatever they may see, or they may have other symptoms. So whatever your first initial symptom is, make sure you take your medicine right off. If you're new to this, if you have a symptom that is just like, okay, I never had this before, go ahead and start taking the medicine. And if that's an outbreak, it's going to cut it down. It's not going to be so long. And some people may be asking, how long do an outbreak take? Your initial outbreak can take up to 2 weeks. What can take as less as 2 weeks, as much as 4 weeks. Many people now, after having reoccurring outbreaks, sometimes still take a week. Some people shorten that depending on what type of treatment they're doing. That's why I say it's very important to know, if you're going to do an antiviral, if you take it early, it may cut it down. It may not be a full week. It may be a couple of days because you kind of nipped it in the bud earlier. Or if you're doing natural remedies, essential oils, coconut oil, tea tree oil, lemon balm, things of that nature. If you're doing things like that, then it may cut it down even lower. But like I said, reoccurring, it could be a week, still 2 weeks for some people, still 4, depending on the person and their body. Okay. How do you protect other people from getting it? How do you protect your partner from getting it? Or are you saying, how do you protect people in general? Which question? Matter of fact, I'm going to answer both. So my whole thing is, if you have oral herpes, the way to protect people is, well, especially is kissing. Make sure not to kiss when make sure you're not kissing anyone if you're having any type of symptoms, any cold sores, any flu blisters, anything, in your mouth that you're not quite sure of. Don't do anything at that time. If you have any symptoms, don't do anything at that time. Swollen lymph nodes that let you know if you have an oral outbreaks. When you're doing have oral outbreaks and you physically are having those, like literally you can see it or you can feel it, make sure that you're not allowing somebody to drink after you. Most importantly, not letting somebody drink after you. Okay. So that just helps you eliminate that. It's not that herpes is saliva. Herpes be in saliva. So my whole thing, the chances is really low. The virus is more prevalent to pass skin to skin contact, but at the end of the day, it is possible for it to be passed through saliva. Like I said, it's very, very low, but my whole thing is the chances are there. Same thing if you have lip balms or things like that. If you're rubbing on the oil, like the outbreak, that fluid from the outbreak can, get onto that surface. So I tell people, certain things that you use for your outbreaks, don't let people come in contact with. That is for you. And also it's very important for you, if you're doing lip balms, anything like that, do not put it directly on your lips. Use Q-tips and things of that nature to apply it. You do not want the fluid of the outbreak to get onto that surface, whatever, because at the end of the day, it's a virus. It could be on that surface. Now, people want to know how long it lasts. I'm kind of going into it. It can last up to an hour. 30 to an hour on the surface. Okay, this is something I just completely confirmed and learned, because I knew it lasts, but I didn't know how. But like I said, it has to be so much for it to be prevalent, and it's more prevalent to pass the virus skin to skin contact, because it is more skin to skin than it is fluid to fluid. This virus is not a fluid to fluid virus, or through fluids, it's through skin to skin contact, but it is a small chance. But like I said, it can live on the surface, scrawls, things of that nature for up to 30 to 60 minutes, but it has to be a a good amount of it for you to even get the virus. That's just to educate. That's not to scare. That's to educate you guys. And y'all know I like to educate you guys. Now, if you're having sex with someone, the best way not to pass the virus is not have sex with them. If you have any type of symptoms of any sort, swollen lymph nodes, itching, burning, tingling, aching in the legs, tingling of the feet, or feeling spikes in your feet, or anything in your thighs or your buttocks. If you feel any of that, don't do anything. If you see any cuts, bruises, rashes, pimples, any of that stuff that you have ever had or you're not quite sure about it, don't do anything. That's a way to eliminate that until you kind of learn what is what. And this is for people who have the virus, and it's for people who have the virus but they new to the virus, because if you never had an outbreak, you're not quite sure, what it looked like, what it feels like. So I like to kind of go in detail for you guys to kind of know what it all can look like. It can look like so many different things. Everybody don't have cuts, bruises, rashes, pimples, like paper cuts. A lot of people don't have those. Some people just have symptoms such as a lot of itching, a lot of burning. For women, they have discharge. Some women have discharge. Don't let anybody fool you. Some people do have discharge. I'm one of them people. Then you also have some people who just have a lot of aching and tingling all over the body, things of that nature. Some people have headaches. So you just kind of got to learn what works for you. And a lot of people are like, how long do it take to learn this stuff? It could take up to 6 months to a year to learn these things. And I say 6 months because it gives you time to kind of take time to mentally get yourself prepared to pay attention. In those first 3 months of finding out you have herpes, your head is all over the place. You're not thinking, you're not feeling, you just like shock mode. But after those 3 months, you kind of get to a place where you don't reach out to somebody like me. If you haven't reached out to me, you don't talk to somebody, you don't join a support group, you don't talk to friends. By then, you're kind of coming out of shock mode, and now you're in a place where, okay, I want to learn how to manage this thing. So going into that 4th, 5th, 6th month, by then, now you're starting to learn your body, you're starting to learn what works, you're starting to, do trial and error. And then some people who are having outbreaks a lot more, typically it's because their mental state is not right. They're emotionally unstable. So now they got to learn how to create, control their stress, or they have a stressful job, or they're in school, or, they have children, or, some other things going on that's kind of causing them to have more outbreaks. So they got to take a little bit longer to learn how to control those outside sources so they can control their outbreaks. And that takes longer because you can't control everybody or everything all the time. So you have to just learn what you can do to control you, or eliminate some of those situations in your life. So I hope that helped. Yeah. Did I answer that question for you, sweetie? Very interesting. Thank you, dear. No problemo. Anybody else have questions? Questions? I know I kind of went over, but I kind of want to answer. If you give me a question, I'm kind of going to go over the question and into the question so I can answer kind of like everything around the way. Because sometimes people have questions they're just kind of scared to ask. So I give you guys opportunities there. What is going on? Anybody got any more questions, concerns? Who is new? Who just found out that have herpes? Who just found out that they have type 1 or type 2? I want y'all guys to know that herpes is not always sexual. It can be non-sexual, such as children. Children get it. It's not because they've been molested or raped or anything like that. They've been kissed by a family member. As we know, kissing is not considered sex. Can consider a way of, showing intimacy, family, or greetings or things like that. So we don't always want to say that herpes is STD or STI. It is when it becomes genital, but typical when people have it orally is not because they got it from just oral sex. They could have got it just for simply kissing a family member, or a family member not sure that they had it and had somebody drink after them, or things of that nature. So it's very important that we know the big difference there, because I know a lot of people come on my page and they were like, well, I had them all since I was a little bit kid. I ain't never had sex. You're right, you never did. So that's not how you got herpes. And I want us to not always classify. If you don't fall in that category, don't speak on the category. That's my big thing with people. Like sometimes we like, not me. Well, if it's not you, there's no need to say anything. But I'm learning that some people are just kind of confused of how can you say I have an STD, but I never had sex and I had it all my life. So now is sexual. You got herpes that you get sexually, and then you get herpes that you did not sexually. So that's just a way for you guys to kind of remember that when you're talking to people and you're talking to your friends and you're like, oh, you got cold sore. And they're like, yeah, I've been getting them all my life. Okay, they got it non-sexually. They probably got it from somebody kissing them or something like that. Don't always assume that, something bad happened to them as a child, or they got it from somebody. Most people don't know cold sores and fever blisters is herpes. So that kind of opened the door to let people know, main reason why a lot of people have it. And it's and oral herpes is one of the main reasons why most people have genital herpes, not because they have type 2, but because they have genital herpes. Yes, sweetie. I don't know what you're getting to drink. You want some water? No. You're not getting no soda. You want water? No. We're about to eat dinner.
We're going to eat.
We're going to eat some meat and some mashed potatoes. Are you eating now? Okay, go back outside while I finish with the mashed potatoes. I'm about to make them now.
I need bathroom.
Okay. Okay, Junior, ask questions. But that's a way for us to also, just to have those conversations with friends and family members, or, just random people. You don't always want to assume that a person got herpes from sexual activity. It's not always the case, and people get very offended when you tell them they got herpes and herpes is an STD. My whole thing is they don't label type 1 as an STD. They only label genital herpes, or they don't label oral herpes or type 1 herpes as a STD. They only do genital as an STD. Okay, just to let y'all know. Like, if y'all look it up on CDC, American Sexual Association, or Parent Planned, or anything like that, you're going to see genital herpes, because that's what they consider a STD or STI. Just a little background. Do you have to take medication during pregnancy to protect the baby? Yes. Yes and no. My whole thing is, I would suggest people to do it. It's nothing bad to do. I did it with my first son. When you get to your third trimester, they ask you to take the medicine, take the antivirals, to help you prevent having an outbreak. Protect you from having an outbreak is, if you don't have an outbreak, then you have a normal birth, natural vaginal birth. If you're having an outbreak, then you'll have to have a C-section. Or if you're just too nervous about the whole situation, you can schedule a whole C-section. In general, the baby is not going to get the virus just because they're in your stomach. The skin to skin contact, okay? How many outbreaks have you had since you had herpes? I don't know. That's crazy to ask me. That's crazy. I can't tell you that. I don't had it for 10 years. I can't tell you that. I don't know. I have no earthly idea. That's a good question, but that is not a question I can answer, because I don't know. For my first couple of years, I didn't even have outbreaks like that. This year, so far, I can tell you I only had 4. And last year, I had 3. But I don't remember from then on. 10 years is a long time to kind of remember how many outbreaks. And I ain't lying. I ain't trying to keep up with them.
I'll be right back.
You can get pregnant, sweetie. I have 2 kids. You can see here the little one now. He's 4. My oldest is 9. Hello, I'm James. I just found out I have herpes from someone that didn't tell me. I'm sorry, sweetie. I want to tell you, sadly to say, many doctors are not stressing the importance of disclosing. Many doctors are saying that it's not that serious, or they'll say, everybody have it, or it's so common, and they won't go into the details of disclosing. So a lot of people get to a point where, like, well, my doctor didn't say anything, so I don't do it. Or their doctor say, oh, don't worry about it. Like, they say, hey, do I have to tell? And they say, oh, don't worry about it. Everybody have it. And that's not true. Everybody don't have it, or not aware that they have it, sadly to say. But at the end of the day, remember, sadly to say, most people do it because of that, because their health provider told them that they didn't have to say anything, or they didn't stress it. And then number 2 is because they're scared out their mind that you're going to have, think they're disgusting, they're nasty, and they do it. Is it right? No, it's not right. But that is the 2 reasons why people tend to do that. But just know, you have all of us here. We're supportive. We're here for you, James. If you need anything, I'm here. You can always do a session with me, and I can answer any questions or give you some comfort in that, because I know that's hard to find out that person didn't tell you, but you got to understand like the lack of knowledge behind herpes is a big reason why people don't say anything. And it's a big reason why we don't get tested for it because the doctors don't think it's a big deal because it won't kill you. But that is causing a lot of people a lot of issues because people are not telling people and then they're giving the virus to other people and don't think that person didn't feel bad because they were still freaking out like, shoot, I need to tell them, but I don't want to tell them because I don't think they're going to want me and all this other thing. So don't think they got off scot-free thinking that, life was all good and they was all chill and they was all relaxed because they didn't tell you. No, they wasn't. I've been in that situation. I had sex with somebody and did not tell them, and I felt like pure crap. And I strongly suggest anybody on here not to do that. Like, I'm telling you, you're going to drive yourself up a wall. You're going to drive yourself crazy because you're going to worry about them calling you and telling you that they got it and all this stuff. So I would strongly suggest you do not do it. I don't care if you're using protection. Protection is not 100%. It ain't 100% for nothing. It ain't 100% for you getting pregnant. It's not 100% for you catching any other STD. So my whole thing is, remember, herpes is skin-to-skin contact. So a condom do not protect a man or a woman from getting herpes. Okay? And remember that simple kissing can get you herpes, okay? So with that being said, guys, I really want us to understand, don't think, oh, I can get around and just use protection. No, you cannot. You need to tell that person. We don't live in a decade. We don't live in a year. We don't live in a century where everybody's so nice and dandy about you, you being scared. People are outing people. People are killing people. People are crazy. Like, we're not in that time where people are a little bit more understanding. So I would strongly suggest you please disclose, take a no, take a rejection, get back out there and do it again. Compare and be honest to yourself and keep your morals and values, because I tell you, you do not want to deal with these people these days. It's not nice. I have many ladies who have got scot-free when not anything happened to them, and I have many ladies in my group who have been outed to the core. And it has been really bad for many of them. And some of them, they tried to do the right thing and they did it. Or, that person outed them because they were just mad at them and all this stuff like that. And I tell y'all, the way to stay away from that, especially if you like intentionally having sex with a person and not telling them, is to eliminate that. Tell them. If they want to now disclose to the world about you, you can say, well, I told them. So they can't even do that. I told them they had sex with me and this is what happened, whatever. So, and you can still hold your morals and your vows and have respect for yourself. So have enough respect for yourself and remember that if you was put in this situation and now you got a virus and you don't know where you got it from, or the person don't want to be honest and tell you, don't do that to anybody else. Do not put nobody through what you're going through right now. It's not fair. It's not fair at all. And I'm telling you, and I'm scolding you, don't do it. I did it. Don't do it. I really will hope that everybody take my experiences and don't do it. I was blessed to not have people do anything to me at that given moment. I was in college. I was doing college dudes. We all were on scholarships. We had scholarship money. We weren't trying to lose nothing. It's like your business, my business. We just gonna, act like nothing happened, and type things like that. And going on about our lives, but we don't live in a time like that now. People are really, really just using social media for the devil, and they're using it to humiliate people and make people feel really, really bad. And I don't want anybody to experience that, especially if you can prevent it. If you're not ready to disclose, do not have sex. If you're not ready to disclose, do not have sex. I'm going to tell you that one more time. If you're not ready to disclose, you do not need to get in a relationship. You do not need to have sex, period. And you don't need a date. You don't need to do anything until you get to a place where you're ready to be honest with yourself, deal with whatever comes. Because at the end of the day, our relationship is about being honest and to be true and to be open and transparent with a person. If you can't tell them you're not ready to be honest, true, and transparent. Where is a good place to get tested? You can go to any health clinic. I will tell you, make sure you call prior to find out if they test for herpes. Hold on one second, guys. Sorry. Yeah, I'm kind of going to twist this around a little bit. Sorry, y'all, but yeah. So sorry. Where's a good place? Like I said, you know, you can go to a health clinic. When you go to the health clinic, well, call prior to the health clinic to make sure they test for herpes, especially for a blood test. Now, if you have any cuts, blisters, anything like that, if you have any physical symptoms, then make sure you can go ahead and ask them for a swab, but also ask them to give you a blood test anyway. They will give you a blood test if you're having physical outbreaks. Now, if you're not having physical outbreaks, the chances of like some clinics testing you is slim to none, because they don't want to scare you, quote unquote, or get a false negative or things like that. So it's very important to make sure you're having a symptom. If you're not, fine, go to your OBGYN if you can, or find a nonprofit organization. There's a lot of nonprofit organizations in your area that test for STDs. Call around, look into Google, and you can look them up to see if they're testing for herpes and ask them if they do blood tests, and go that route. Okay? Do you get very upset because of this shit? Do you hate yourself for letting this happen to you? No, I don't. I mean, I used to be upset all the time, but at this point, I'm 10 years in. So at this point, I would be crazy. I will be a plumb crazy fool to sit here and still hate myself and things like that. You know how much torture that is to hate yourself for that long? 10 years is a long time to hate yourself over something that you didn't know anything about. I have really got to a point to accept that I wasn't educated about herpes. I didn't know anything about it, even though I knew one young lady who had it, but she got it from rape. So that was very different mindset for me. I was like, well, she got it from rape, so okay, that's a different situation. I've never been in that situation, so I don't know if I would get the virus. I believe I was being safe. You use protection, you know, asking questions, things like that. Trusting my partners, and I had never had an STD prior to this, so it was out, no lie, in my mind. I was like, oh, it'll never happen to me. I'll never get an STD because I don't did so well and never got one, which is an ignorant way of thinking. And I sadly say most of us think that way, and we got to get out of that mindset because sex is risky. But no, I was upset for the first couple of years, like, oh, I'm so mad about this, you know, thing like that, because I thought my life was over, and I thought that I lost everything and that I wouldn't meet anybody and I won't be happy and all that stuff like that. But I accepted the fact that, you know, my life can go on and I gotta love me and everything about me, and not always good things gonna happen in my life, and that's not a reason for me to hate myself and put myself down and treat myself bad and tell myself that I can't live a natural life or a good life anymore. But to, you know, learn everything I can learn about it, get around people who are living and living the life I want to live, and like walk after them and do the same things they're doing so I can live the life I want to live. And most importantly, loving myself and realizing that life happens and it happens to everybody, and that this doesn't have to be the end. I have a close friend who has HIV. She's married, living a great life. She's a nurse, all of this stuff like that. I know so many people who have HIV or, you know, rare conditions and things like that and living great. So that also gave me that encouragement. And I even do this time to time to go on YouTube and watch like these rare condition, people who got rare conditions and living regular lives, because they let me know, you know, even though herpes is not a rare condition, it's a very much non-talked about condition, and that I can still live a regular life. I seen this one young lady, her literally her bones, her muscles were turning into bones, and literally she was about to live on her own, and she had a boyfriend and all this stuff like that. And I was like, if she can do that, and I can talk, I can walk, I can feed myself, I can work, I can do everything normal. I mean, her hips were locked. She had to stand like a peacock, like she could barely eat. She had to get teeth taken out her mouth, all of this stuff. I said, if she can live a regular life, it's no reason for me to not live a regular life. And she loved herself, and I was like, if she can love herself, and I'm sure she knows she have good and bad days, she got to take all this medication, why not me? I don't have to take medication. I don't have to do any of that. All I have to do is get to a point to realize we live in a world that people are not educated about herpes, and I can't keep beating myself up because nobody's educated. Okay? But it takes time. Why do you choose not to do a natural cure now that it's out? The thing about it is, let me tell you something about these natural cures. And this is my standpoint on it. My whole thing is I have done natural route. Okay? I've been doing the natural route dang it, the whole time I did this. This is the reason why I don't have that many outbreaks, because I have been doing the natural route. My whole thing, it has lowered my outbreaks, but have not got rid of this virus. I have went to the doctor and my numbers are still there. So my whole thing is, a lot of people talk about why this, why that. My whole thing is, that's what you want to do, you do it and you stick to it until you get what you want. But I'm going to tell you, for somebody who's been doing the natural route for a long time, and I'm telling you, me eating correctly, I'm not talking about taking those supplements. I'm not talking about finding this rare stuff. I'm not spending $1,001 trying to do anything. This is me eating properly, drinking, doing what I need to do for my body. Because like I said, I'm not a pill popper, never have been, don't want to be. I don't want to take stuff for the rest of my life. But I do what I need to do of eating properly. It helped me reduce my outbreaks. And I'm going to tell you, when you take supplements, what it's going to do, it's going to reduce your outbreaks. That's all I'm going to tell you. It's going to reduce your outbreaks. Now, if you want to believe that, that's great. I am not knocking nobody, but I'm going from my standpoint. And I feel like a lot of people want me to do it for them. My whole thing is, if you want to get cured, you get cured. Don't wait on me. If you want to get cured, you do what's best for you. But I get so many people in my inbox about, Belize, do the cure for the benefit of others. No, you do what you feel like is best for you. Why are you waiting for me to do something? You know why you want me to do it? And I want to speak to everybody who's been thinking this. You want me to do it because you don't believe it worked. So my whole thing is, don't be banking on my body for your body. My whole thing, do what's best for you, because what works for my body may not work for your body. And that's another thing, y'all, a lot of you guys need to understand. A lot of y'all can't take some of these supplements. Some of you guys may lose too much weight. I don't have ladies go natural route and literally couldn't do it because they lost too much weight. Literally, they was getting down to nothing. And they were like, I can't do this no more. I can't do this. So my whole thing is, don't think I don't heard it, I don't seen it. My whole thing is, do what's best for you. And I'm going to tell you something. Stop asking herpes activists why we haven't did anything. Don't think we haven't. We're doing what we know is best for you guys, and that's to educate you guys and to help the people who need to get through. Because I know so many people who have tried this thing and it just haven't worked for them. Not saying it won't work for you, and it's not saying that I don't believe it's true, but my whole thing is, I am a person, if it's not going to work for all, I don't want to do something that's not going to work for all. And it's not going to be fair to say, oh yeah, this is great and now I'm good, and you tried and you pissed because it didn't work for you. Because sadly to say, a lot of you guys, a lot of people have other health conditions that they can't do stuff. They can't, or it's just not feasible for their lifestyle. So it wouldn't be right for me to say, oh girl, yeah, I spent $200, $300 a month and I can do this, and you can't afford it. You can't afford it. And I'm sorry, I was like, oh, I can't lower the price for you. You can't afford it. I will feel bad that a lot of you guys couldn't even do it because you couldn't afford it. And sadly to say, that's why a lot of people ain't did it, because they can't afford it. It's very much expensive because it's a lifestyle change. And I will tell you, if you want to even go the natural route, which I had to learn, is to slowly learn how to change how you eat. Before you even want to pop a supplement in your mouth, you better learn how to eat first. Because at the end of the day, it's really about how you eat. It's not really about the supplements. It's really about how you eat, because you got to alkaline your body. But I was in a business for a while, and that taught me those things. So that helped. I go back and forth, back and forth. I have good days, I have bad days, but it's a lifestyle change. It is a lifestyle change. So I have a lot of people ask me that. My 15,000 and something people always ask, Belize, why you ain't got a cure yet? My whole thing, do what you feel like is best for you. But my whole thing is, I'm telling you, don't get upset if it don't work for you. I'm going to tell you that because it don't work for everybody. And some people get so upset because they see everybody talking about it and I'm good and I'm this, and that's not the case. So my whole thing is, you do what's best for you. And if you feel like that's what you want to do, you do you. And you don't have to have anybody give you no pat on the back. You ain't got to have nobody tell you they believe in you. You ain't got nobody to tell you it's too expensive. You ain't got to have none of that. Whatever you want to do, you do for you. And don't do it because you want to tell everybody. Do what's best for you. Some people, herpes is the worst thing that ever happened to them. This the death sentence for many people. And I will understand why you want to get rid of it, because they're in a lot of pain. Do what's best for you. Don't look to get somebody else to approve it for you. And sadly to say, in the herpes community, we want everybody to approve stuff for us. Stop it. Do what's best for you. Okay? I get really, really in my feelings about that topic because a lot of people ask me that question all the time. Don't worry about why I don't do stuff for me. Do what you feel like is best for you. Do it for you. Don't do it for nobody else. Don't look for somebody to approve it for you. Do you believe in this? No, do you believe in it? Because it doesn't matter what I believe in. Don't matter what I believe in. It's what you believe in yourself. Okay? I always tell women before we date that I have oral herpes, but of course they stop talking to me, which I understand they don't want to get herpes. Um, my whole thing, keep going. My whole thing, every woman is not going to do that. Like, keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going. My whole thing, a lot of us are banking on 1 or 2 women or 5 or 6 women. Keep going. There's millions of women in this world. Keep pushing. Keep going. I know it's hard. Rejection is not good, especially for a man. Y'all deal with rejection on a daily. But you got to keep going. You can't keep, you can't hold that one person. Just keep going. And I applaud you for even being honest up front. Because some people wait. Well, my whole thing is you do what you feel like is best. I would say try a different route. If telling up front is not the best thing for you, you're not getting a good result. My whole thing is feel those women out first. That's my whole motto. I feel people out first before I say something. Because she may say something or she may do something you don't even like her and you wasted a disclosure. So my whole thing, you keep doing what you feel like is best. But I say try that route too. Or try different things to see what works. Because sometimes it's just too early to be telling somebody something and she wanted to just kind of knock you out. You don't know if she looked at your shoes and didn't like your shoes, or it's something about you she don't like, and she want to kind of knock you off the boat because she got 2, 3 other people on her radar. My whole thing is it's just very important for you to figure out if she's worth your time before you disclose something to her. Because at the end of the day, you're disclosing to people that you want to be serious with. You're not just disclosing to every person you meet. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. Everybody ain't worth your time. We're not looking for 1,000 different partners. Now, if you're into that lifestyle, poly lifestyle, that's different. But still, still not looking for 1,000 people. It's typically only 3 of y'all. You know what I mean? So you're just trying to find people that would accept you. And that means continue to go on and on and on and on and on until you find it. Yeah, I said, yes, mom, I wouldn't do that to anyone. I'm not that type of person. You're right. I'm not that type of person either. But when you're under a lot of fear, a lot of us will do things that we would never think we would do. So I would strongly suggest people, if you're super scared to disclose, just wait. Get around other people who have disclosed before. Get different ways, learn different ways to disclose. Practice disclosing with people. Do it on different people you ain't really interested in. Kind of like practice. You got to kind of practice because you can't just like your first disclosure. I will tell y'all, your first disclosure shouldn't be on somebody like you, like, oh, I really want to be with, because it's hard. It's really hard because that person tell you're losing your bubbles. So I would say it's better to practice, like practice disclosing. If that's the friends, family, things like that, practice disclosing, so you can feel comfortable with your disclosure. And it's a trial and error to figure out what works. How is it possible not to pass the virus after multiple partners? They're negative. Because you wasn't having an outbreak. You're not going to pass the virus if you're not having an active outbreak. And that's something we need to understand. We think just because you have herpes that you're going to pass the virus. That's not true. This virus works based off active. If it's active, you pass it. If it's not active, you're not going to pass it. Got it? What do you usually eat every day? My most important thing is I eat like other people. I don't want you to think like, oh, Belize eats like, all vegetables and she don't eat fast food and all this stuff like that. But when I was really heavy, doing everything, because like I said, I've been off lately, and I had the most outbreak this year because I've been eating crappy and I haven't been getting sleep. It's very important to eat more green vegetables. The more green vegetables you have, the more alkaline your body is. As you know, if your body's alkaline, nothing can function, no cancer, no virus, nothing can really function in alkaline. It will not be active in that area. So it's very important to eat a lot of green vegetables. I'm not telling you just eat salads and all that crap like that. No, I'm telling you to, expand your palate and eat different things pertaining to green vegetables, drinking a whole lot of water because water is important. And for my individuals who are doing a lot of supplements, it's very important that you drink water. You can mess around and have all those supplements and get constipated because you're not drinking enough water. Okay, so please, if you're taking supplements, especially lysine, oregano, all of them, oregano oil, oregano oil, tea tree oil, all of it. Make sure you're drinking water. If you're not drinking water, especially if it's a pill form, you can mess around and get constipated. I know many ladies who they were taking lysine and they started to get constipated because they're not drinking enough water. So if you're taking any supplements, make sure you're drinking a lot of water. And when I mean a lot, what you need for your body weight. And you can learn that based off going on Google and put in what your body weight is, how much water to drink for my body weight, okay? So make sure you do that. But most importantly, with anything, is making sure you eat more vegetables. I think that's what we're failing to do. A lot of us don't eat enough vegetables, especially greeny vegetables. So make sure you're eating a lot of greeny vegetables. Drinking a lot of water, making sure you're getting rest. A lot of us not doing that. Reducing your stress, things of that nature, and it makes a big difference. But I'm telling you, the big difference for me was eating more green vegetables. I felt a big difference. I was way more energized. I was sleeping better. I had more energy throughout the day, drinking water. I was going to the bathroom more regularly. I just felt so much better. I felt light. Last year, which I'm going to start doing again, I was juicing. Oh my God, I felt so good. I wasn't having outbreaks like that. I was juicing like crazy. And a lot of people are like, juice is expensive. It's really not. Like, like you just got to figure out what you like. I bought a juicer. The juicer was like $80. I bought it from Walmart. You can get it from Amazon for cheaper, but I would say pay for what you want. Pay for quality if you want it to last longer. And then I did cucumbers, oranges, pineapples, apples, strawberries, things of that nature that had a lot of juice in it, especially cucumbers and oranges have a lot of juice. Apples are good. Spinach, kale. I did carrots, things of that nature. And I'm telling you, my body felt so much better. I got to get back to it because I felt good and I lost a lot of weight. I was looking snatch and now I'm losing weight for the wrong reason. But yeah, those are things that you can do. But it's a trial and error. I want y'all to understand what works for one don't work for all. Some people are different. They just can't do a lot of that stuff because of other health conditions. So make sure you figure out what works best for you. I found out I had herpes about a month ago, and a part of me died when I got the news. My gifter did not. The person who gave it to you did not inform me that I'll be joining this exclusive club. I'm still pissed. You have the right to be pissed, sweetie. You have the right, just like I was telling the young man up at the top. He went through the same step. Somebody did not tell him. And it hurts. It hurts real bad because it takes a long time for you to get to a place of like forgiving them or not. Most importantly, you have to. You kind of like, they got to forgive the situation, forget it, and move on. Because at the end of the day, at this point, who knows why that person didn't tell you? Like I was telling him above, most people do not tell because, number one, their doctors are saying that they don't have to. It's not that important. It's common. And then some people do it because they're scared because they're thinking you're probably like not going to be with them, not knowing, not giving you an opportunity to choose. And you have the right to be upset. But I want to tell you today that life will go on. You'll be fine. It takes time, but you will be fine. Okay, because I'm here to help you. There's many people here to help you. Many videos. I have a support group. If you want to join the support group, you can be a part of that. But if you need to talk, you want to vent, set up a session with me, and I would love to talk to you. Can you take lysine supplements for herpes? Absolutely. That's what I was talking about. Lysine is great. Yeah, lysine is great. Make sure you drink water, though. Lysine is great. Thank you very much for your advice. Does the virus shed more with outbreaks or shed what you can't see? Okay. Does the virus shed more with outbreaks or shed what you can't see? The thing about it, the virus shed before an outbreak. The virus shed before your outbreak and after your outbreak, and then it can randomly shed. Okay? I hope that makes sense. The virus can shed before your outbreak, after your outbreak, and randomly. And you will not see it. You will not feel it. You will not know it. Now, if you are feeling random things like a little itching or a little burning, that's prodome. That's not shedding. You will never know you're shedding. Prodome is different. Prodome then you know that, hey, you triggering me. Like you triggering me. You want me or not. Like I'm about to come full force on you in a minute. You keep on playing. So with prodome, be careful with that because that's letting you know that outbreak is like the virus is active and you need to go ahead and start your treatment, whatever that may be. So prodome is different from shedding, okay? And I did a whole video on prodome and shedding. Is it prodome or is it shedding? But shedding, you won't know. It's before your outbreak, after your outbreak, and randomly. And my whole thing is shedding can last a couple of hours. It can last days. It can, it just varies. It varies. So that's the thing about shedding. It sucks because you kind of don't know. And somebody said in my group, which I thought would be cool, she's like, we should have a test for shedding, like for ovulation. So you kind of know if you're shedding. Now, it's like, oh, I think that'd be super cool. Like you could swab it and put it on there and it kind of let you know if you're shedding. That'd be cool. If somebody come up with that, I swear you'll make a killing. I'm not a scientist and I ain't even interested in doing that. But hey, good idea. Somebody take it and run with it, okay? But yeah, at this time, we really won't know. The only time that you know for sure that you're shedding is right after your outbreak. So I always tell my people, like, after your outbreak, wait at least a week. At least a week. Not saying that you're shedding the whole time, but you're not quite sure when you're shedding. So the best thing to do is to kind of wait, and give yourself some time and then go ahead. Okay, go ahead. All right. Now, if you're that type of person who like, we can't wait a week, I would suggest you wait a week, but if you and your partner are very aware of the risk, use protection and do what you do. Okay? I wouldn't suggest it though, but do what you do. Because everybody's like, we can't wait that long. Okay. My doctor told me that she still can pass. My doctor said that you can still pass that even if you don't have any symptoms. That's shedding. That's what he was, that person above you were just talking about. I'm not sure is it he or she. So it's important to know shedding is what they're talking about. That doesn't mean the virus is passed all the time. See, this is something the doctors are not explaining. When they tell you can pass the virus when you're not having an outbreak, you're thinking you're contagious all the time. That is a lie from the pit of hell. That's not true. You're not contagious all the time. You're not passing the virus all the time. If that was the case, you think every person you came in contact with have it, especially if you're, sexual active or you got a partner and your partner still doesn't have the virus, or just like the person said above, like, how can I have multiple partners and they never had the virus? It's because you wasn't shedding and you wasn't having an active, like, you wasn't having a physical outbreak and you wasn't having shedding. Shedding and outbreak is the exact same thing. It's still an outbreak. And I think some of us kind of get that, like, misconstrued or think it's kind of something different. It's really not. It's all the same. So my whole thing is, if you're having shedding, you're having an active outbreak. If you have a physical outbreak, you have the outbreak. So my whole thing, as long as and this is what they'll tell you, if you're not having an outbreak, you're not going to pass virus. You're right. If you're not having an outbreak, you're not going to pass the virus. That's what they mean. And then you have your doctors who do this, who say, oh, you can pass the virus if you don't have any symptoms. You're right. Only if you're shedding. But if you're not shedding, you're not going to pass the virus. Helped? I know I get that question all the time. It's so frustrating for all of us. But like I said earlier, the only times that 2 times that you'll know you have a shedding, 3 times, that's only 3 times that you can figure it out, and truthfully you can't, other than after outbreak. It's before outbreak. So if you have outbreaks before your period, ladies, at that time, be safe. Hey, you're at risk. It's possible that you can be shedding. And then after your outbreak, and then randomly, like I said, doesn't mean it's going to be all day long. It doesn't mean that it's hours on end. It's not mean that's months. It's not mean that's every day. It's not meaning any of that, because it's not really a lot of information on shedding. You can do into research, because I'll look into different researches. And also I talked to a young man who's kind of my research guy. And we talked about that, but he said it's so up and down. Like, it's no stable information. And me and him say this is bullcrap and it's not fair, because he has the virus too. But that happens. It's like, it's not stable. Those on 3 times before, after, and random. So most importantly, if you want to reduce shedding, is to take the antivirals. That'll help you reduce that, or do olive leaf extract. Olive leaf extract. You can find that at Walmart. You can find it at GMCs. You can find them at Target. You can find them at vitamin stores. You can find them on Amazon. Easy peasy. Get them sent to your house by Prime 2 days. Things like that. You can take it that way. Okay. Hey, love. Lie, doctors tell. Yeah, sadly to say, I don't even know if doctors are really lying sometimes. We got to understand that they are a practice of medicine. So if you're a practice of medicine, who's telling you what to do? Somebody's telling you what to say. Somebody is teaching you what to do. Somebody is teaching you the practice. So my whole thing is, I'm not mad at doctors. I'm mad at who taught them the crap in the book. That's who I'm mad at. I'm not mad at the doctors, because they only doing their job. They went to school 3, 4, 5, 6 times, and boom, this is what they know, and they're only teaching what they knew. They learned out of a book, or what a professor told them, or a mentor told them, or anything like that, or things like that. So I don't want to be officially mad. I'm not really mad at the doctors. I'm mad at the people who teach them this. That's who upsets me, because I don't know why they think that's okay. So is it more prone for men to pass it to women, or vice versa? They say men. They said men to women without any protection, without any medicine, is 10%. For women, I think it's 6%. It's higher than that, but that's just basic. Okay, this is what the numbers that I'm telling you is from 2014. Remember, it's 2019. So we're waiting on these numbers to kind of give us more information on those. But based off those numbers, that's what they said. Okay. But it says no more prone. I think it's more prone for men because most men are not aware that they have outbreaks. A lot of men are asymptomatic, so they're not having physical outbreaks, but they're having shedding, or they're having mild outbreaks where it's a little itching, it's a little burning. They having like they think they're chafing or they're having a job itch, and that's not what it is. So I think it's just because some men don't know what it is, and they're expecting these big nasty blisters and all these they think that, and they end up having sex with somebody, and somebody asks me what that is. Like, oh, I had that before. It's no big deal. I hear this from so many clients of mine, and she's like, oh, I've been getting that a couple of times. It ain't nothing, and not realize it was herpes the whole time, but it did not look how they thought it looked. So they've been passing the virus unknowingly. So sadly to say, men are just not educated, and since they're not educated, which nobody's educated, it's causing them to pass the virus. Because they're looking, and this is everybody, we can all say this, that we have all assumed that herpes was this nasty, goopy stuff that we see on Google. And I'm telling you, it doesn't look like that on everybody. If I can show y'all every photo I ever had, I'm telling you, it looked different on everybody. I swear I'm an OBGYN. I see so much stuff. But guys, I'm telling you, it looked different on everybody. It do not look the same. Not one picture that I have ever seen look the same. They all look different, especially looks different on men. So sadly to say, I truly believe it's because men are looking for something in particular, and it's not that. And also women, we are just way more cautious. Like, we get an itch, we get a burn, we get a tingle. We're taught as young ladies to always pay attention to our bodies, that, yeast infections and bacterial vaginosis is very prominent for us. So, us paying attention to our bodies is very normal for us compared to men. It's like, if it ain't nothing that's causing a lot of pain, or it doesn't look like what you find on Google, because dudes do their research. I don't want us to think like, oh, guys are just not doing no research. No, they go and look on Google just like everybody else, and if it don't look like that, they go on about their business. And sadly say, please, guys, stop looking on Google. Go to the doctor. Please go to the doctor. If you feel like you have herpes, this is for my individuals who think they may have and they follow me, or you think you have anything, please go to the doctor. You are not a doctor. I am not a doctor. I'm just someone who had herpes for 10 years, okay? And I can only tell you everything I have learned over the years, or what I have mastered a little bit over the years, but I'm still not a doctor. So guys, send me pictures and stuff like that. I'm going to tell you, it looks like it, but please go get tested. I'm never going to confirm for sure that's what it is, because I'm not a doctor. I want y'all to understand that syphilis you have bumps with syphilis and blisters with syphilis. You have bumps and stuff and blisters with HPV. So guys, it could easily be those two things as well. And you're thinking it's herpes, but it's syphilis, or it could be HPV. So please don't take stuff lightly thinking, oh, it's just herpes, I'll be all right, I'm going to treat myself. And it's something 10 times more. So guys, please don't take that lightly, because syphilis is very dangerous, and HPV can be cancerous depending on what it is, what strain, okay, or what type, if you want to say. It's like, oh, okay, I thank you, I didn't know. Oh, no problem, sweetie. Good question. The olive leaf abstract, you can use that for shedding. If you want to go the natural route and you don't want to take the antivirals, because the antivirals don't work for everybody. Some people, it make their hair fall out. Some people, it makes them feel sick. Some people, it just don't feel good. Some people feel like it's not working. But I want y'all to know, if you do natural route or the antivirals, remember that you have to make sure you are reducing your triggers as well. I don't want us to believe that these antivirals and these supplements are cures. They're not. They're to supplement. They're supposed to assist. They're supposed to help you. And to help yourself, you need to reduce your triggers, whatever they may be, which is stress, friction from sex. To reduce the friction from sex is to use more lubrication, or make sure you're very ready. Also, menstrual cycle for women. What's the other ones? Eating certain foods, chocolate, alcohol, nuts, junk food. That's not for everybody. I want y'all to know it's not for everybody. Please do not believe I gotta throw my nuts away. I gotta stop eating chocolate. I can't drink alcohol. Please, y'all, stop doing that to yourselves. You gotta trial and error, y'all. Do it and figure it out. Sadly say, I don't want to figure out how to get an outbreak. Well, you better figure it out, or you'll never know. And now you're giving up something you don't have to give up, because none of those affect me. I eat so many peanuts, walnuts, all that stuff. I love chocolate. I drink here and there, and I have not had any issues with those. Those are not mine. It was the friction from sex, which I'm not doing anymore. And then before that, now it's lack of sleep, and also lack of sleep. It's very important that you get rest. Very, very, very important. Or if your immune system is shot. Like a lot of us have different, conditions that kind of mess with your immune system. So that can also mess you up a little bit. So it's very important that, you're taking a probiotic or something like that to keep your immune system up, making sure you're eating right. Eating right is eating a lot of green meat, vegetables, things of that nature, to boost your immune system. Okay? Shedding means that you're having an outbreak that you can't see. That's all. You can pass the virus when you're shedding, but you're not shedding all the time. You're shedding before outbreak, after outbreak, and randomly, but you won't know. So you take medicine, take the antivirals, or you take the olive leaf extract to kind of reduce it. But you can't control shedding. It's not much you can do. That's why you got to disclose. That's why I tell you, disclose, because your partner need to accept the shedding piece. They don't have to accept the outbreaks because you can control that. You can not have sex with them if you feel funny. But shedding piece you can't control. You don't know when it's happening. Okay, thank you, because my son just told me. Oh, I'm happy that you found this channel. My son just told me that he found out he had herpes. I'm trying my best to help him with any information. Well, mama, you're doing the best thing. He have this channel. You can also send him to me if he wants to talk. I do sessions with him. If you want to have a private session, you can set up a private session with him and he can ask all the questions you want to ask. I'm sure he's enjoying mommy asking the questions, but he may want to ask something private. If he wants to, then I'm here. Disclosing means you tell the person that you have the virus. What about black seed oil? Black seed oil helps you reduce outbreaks. Can you apply that out to the outbreak area? Now look, my whole thing is, this is not common to apply black seed oil to the area. Okay? Now, as we know, black seed oil can come in a regular as an essential oil. My whole thing, if it can come into an essential oil, you can apply it. Just make sure you apply it with another oil. Grapeseed oil, tea tree oil, things like that. Okay? Now, if it's coming in a pill form, put it in your mouth, okay? If it's coming in a form where they want you to apply it in your mouth, then put it in your mouth. If the bottle say put it in your mouth, put it in your mouth, okay? But if you're going out and you're getting an essential, like if you're going to a natural store and they just have black seed oil in a regular little container and they say it can apply to certain areas, then put it with a central or another central oil to kind of dilute it a little bit. Because we got to know you can't put certain, central oils directly on the skin, like tea tree oil. You have to put it with coconut oil or olive oil, something. Like it needs to be with an oil to kind of dilute it a little. But coconut oil is great. Or grapeseed oil is great because a lot of that happens. Absolutely. Absolutely, absolutely. That's good, y'all. Okay, how do I get your information to set up a one-on-one with you? Should I just share your channel with him and do you have an email? Okay, mama, email me at overcomingrthestigma@gmail.com. Or you can set him up a session. This for anybody else at overcomingrthestigma.com. That is if you want to set up a directly session with me. One-on-one, www.overcomingrthestigma.com. If you have a brief question or you want to ask me something real quick, then that's the email, overcomingrthestigma@gmail.com. But if you know I need extensive questions, I need some support, then a one-on-one is going to be best for you, okay? Right? Goddamn, mama, did they help? Overcomingrthestigma.com for one-on-one. Overcomingrthestigma@gmail.com if you got a quick question. Okay? Good evening, love bug. Good evening. Yep, overcomingrthestigma.com. Overcoming. And the email is overcomingrthestigma@gmail. Okay? It helped. Overcoming. Get somebody write that down for other people. I wish they would let us do that, but they don't even let us type. Overcoming. Overcomingrthestigma.com for one-on-one. And overcomingrthestigma@gmail.com for a quick question. Or clarity on something. Okay? Any other questions, guys? Hey, everybody who just came in. Y'all know I've been gone, but I'm here. Yes. Yes, mama, that's it. That is it, honey. That is that. You got it. You're welcome. You're absolutely welcome. I'm happy that you did the work for him because I know how hard that can be for an individual when they first found out. It's not easy. He's going to be all right, though. He can get through this. Any more questions, guys? We're coming up on an hour here. Y'all know I try to keep these short, but I know I've been gone for some time. I'll wait through this phone. Any other questions, guys? Any more questions? Any more questions? Any more questions? Any more questions? Well, guys, y'all know I have the Overcoming tour. I'm not canceling it. I did take some cities off. So I'm only coming to Baltimore, July 12th and 13th. I'm coming to New York, September, I think 11th and 12th or 12th and 13th. And then I'm coming to Houston, October 11th and 12th or 12th and 13th. So make sure you get your tickets. For that as well. Belize, I was passed herpes by my ex-husband 4 years ago. Now we're divorced. How do I explain to someone I may date that I have this disease? Most importantly, sorry for your divorce. I'm divorced as well. It's very important that you get to know him first. You're in a different space now after being married, after being hurt. It's very important that you make sure he's worth your time first. Okay? I would suggest you jump off, the ledge and just like, hey, I have herpes. No, I would strongly suggest you get to know him for some time. And I ain't talking about 3, 4, 5, 6 months. I'm talking about, after a month or two, you can fill a person out, get a good feel for them. And then determine where y'all going. My whole thing is, I know you're a woman who I don't been there, done that. Look, I know what I want. I know what I'm looking for. I'm not gonna take too much time to figure out what you want. You need to tell me what you want, and we're gonna move forward. So it's important to kind of make sure he's on the same page with you. When he's on the same page, what you'll do is tell him, hey, since we are both interested in each other, we want to see where this is going. I want to share some stuff that happened with me and my ex-husband. Okay. What question, sweetie? You didn't have a question. I didn't see it. Make sure you put the question, sweetie. Can you answer my question? You gotta put a question before I can answer a question. So Most importantly, it just need to make sure you're like, hey, I want to share what happened in my divorce. Or one of the reasons, what happened in my marriage. Because by this time, y'all don't got to know each other. He knows you're divorced. And by then, you want to start telling him more what happened, things of that nature. Now, this can happen early. It doesn't have to wait until 2 months. It may happen when you first meet him. And he's like, oh, the chemistry is good. You want to just go ahead and disclose. But most importantly, you want to say, hey, this is what happened when I was married. My husband ended up giving me herpes. We stayed together for this amount of time. Blah, 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 blah. Okay? Now, this person still has the right to choose if they want to be with you or not. Okay? They still have the right to choose, but they'll know where you got it from. 10 times out of some, he gonna be like, oh man, that's messed up. You end up getting it from your husband. That's messed up. Blah, blah, blah. Because it's not like that people want to say you was promiscuous, bull to the crap, sex is sex. But he at least know, okay, you were in a relationship, and it also put in his head that it doesn't take, you don't have to be promiscuous to get herpes, that you can get it into committed relationships. And I'm gonna be honest, most of my clients get herpes in committed relationships. They don't get it from randoms, they get it from committed relationships. Some they've been with for 4 years, someone have been with 5, someone who's their child's father or whatever, from a child's mother. So it's important that you get a good feel for that person first, and after you get a feel for that person, then you explain, hey, when I was married, my husband ended up giving me herpes. Baby doll, tell me what you asking, boo. I didn't get it to you. I just said because I have a lot because of a lot that happened. I don't know. I answered everybody's question. Your question didn't come up. Put your question down. Any other questions, guys? You're welcome, sweetie. If you need more help, you know where to find me. You can do a one-on-one with me. I know it's hard after coming out of marriage and dating again. I know. I've been divorced for going on 2 years now. I mean, even though I have dated, I just be looking at people like, I'm good. I am good. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. Any more questions? Any more questions, y'all? Yes, I sure will. How much you charge for a one-on-one? So for the one-on-ones, my most popular session is the overcoming session. The overcoming session is for an hour. We'll do phone or we'll do video chat because I have people who are international. So you'll have your chance to do that. Or if you just want to do a more face-to-face, more personal situation, that's 45. Then you have ask question session. That is 20 minutes. 20 minutes for 25. And then we have the disclosure if you want to, like, oh, I got to tell somebody I'm kind of freaking out. That's for 30 minutes. That's for 35. And then I have to explain my results. Those results are confusing, especially if you don't know nothing about them. I don't kind of like mastered reading them after so many years. So if you need help, it's like understanding your test results, you will get to send me your test results, and we will get to do a 15-minute session. That's for $10. So. And you'll just go to www.overcomingrthestigma.com and you can set up there. All right, sweetie. That was bubble quick. Any more questions, y'all? All right. Questions? Any more questions, guys? I don't want to miss anybody. I'm about to jump off, though. Got to get these kids ready. They got the milestone in Georgia. So I got to get these kids in the bed. My son did good the first day. Proud of him. All right, guys. Since nobody have any more questions, I love you guys. I hope all is well with you guys. And I'm happy to be back. Make sure you guys, I would love for y'all to do something with me. Go to my Instagram, which is Belize.Spivey, and inbox me a topic that y'all want to hear about. Okay? Go to my Instagram, which is Belize.Spivey. It'll say the STD Life Coach, or you put STD Life Coach, and it'll pop up in the search bar. And DM me a topic, something y'all want to hear about. I don't care what it is. It could be something off the wall. I want to do some topics, or even if y'all want me to, to redo some videos that kind of like you wanted more clarity. I've done a lot of videos and they kind of old, things like that. So if you want me to redo a video, put that there. Or if you don't want to go to the Instagram, y'all can go over to the community space, and I put a post a couple of hours ago saying topic. So go there and put a topic. Okay, y'all know I like to do what y'all ask. But I love you guys, and we'll be talking soon. Bye.